Hey,
Oh
hey,
yeah, we
Box
back.
Squad Podcast.
We back,
Ooh,
baby.
in the
Let's get
butt.
it.
Ooh,
Let's
in the
go.
down to the cup. Ooh,
Let's do it.
I'm out here getting mine. Ooh, looking like Lotto in this boy. Ooh, Cardi. Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the most underrated podcast anywhere. Just
Anywhere,
gonna skip to the chase. Anywhere.
man, for real.
It's the Me and D
Pops and son,
podcast.
for that ass,
For that ass,
for that ass. No
no
Diddy,
Diddy, no Offset,
no
no
Offset,
doubt.
Offset, no
Offset,
doubt, Offset.
no doubt. Today
Got
is
shot
May
in the right and
17th,
left.
2026. In the words of Boss Man D-Lo, it's a Me and D party. Come on in. Don Julio, we don't drink gin. What's your name? Where you going? What your name?
What's your name? What's your
Oh man, you gotta love me.
It's got a
Love you.
budget, wrist like an ice pack ball. Really like that.
That's my
Too
song.
cold on me. Whole lot of motion.
Yeah. All right,
Let's get it.
son. We always like to start off by paying some respects. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a rough week in sports. Brandon Clark, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies,
Yeah,
unexpectedly passed away at the age of 29. And
that's crazy.
as of now, there's still no cause of death that has been released.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Collins, NBA forward and the first openly gay male in the sport, died of brain cancer.
Oof.
Rest in peace to him, 47 years old. Sherman Lewis, who won 4 Super Bowls as an assistant coach, passed away at the age of 93. Craig Morton, who became the first quarterback to start a Super Bowl for 2 franchises, passed away at the age of 83. Jim Colbert, one of my favorites on tour, 8-time PGA Tour winner, who was famous for wearing the bucket hats, passed away at the age of 85. Lou Graham, who won the U.S. Open in 1975 and 5 other PGA Tour events, passed away at the age of 88. And Super Bowl winning tight end Charlie Young passed away at the age of 75. So
Wow.
rest in peace
Rest in peace to those folks.
to those good
Rest in peace to
folks.
the folks.
Yes,
man.
sir. Birthdays being celebrated today.
Birthdays.
Hall of Fame boxer Sugar Ray Leonard turned
Sugar
70
Ray.
today.
Okay.
To Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, currently the Atlanta Falcons GM,
Okay.
former QB, celebrates a birthday. Tony Parker, French basketball guard, won a
Parker.
championship with the San Antonio Spurs in 03, 05, 07, and 2014. Jay Riersma played for the Buffalo Bills and the Steelers, tight end, celebrates
Okay.
a birthday. Hubert
Tight
Davis,
end.
been in the news a lot lately, not for good reasons, but he does celebrate a birthday today, and we hope he has a great one. Scott Case, who I remember played for your Falcons right about the time we moved down there. It shows him playing for the Cowboys as well. Celebrates a birthday. Norville Turner,
Norville.
American football coach, won Super Bowls with the Cowboys as the OC, the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
And a nephew, Kobe Tobias Williams,
Kobe.
turns 22 today.
That's
Happy
22.
birthday, nephew.
Williams
22, the big 2-2.
The big 2-2.
So those are our birthdays
Happy
being
birthday,
celebrated.
cuz.
Sports history on the day. In 2020, Michael Jordan's autographed Air Nike Ones trainers from 1985 sell for a record $560,000 in an online auction.
Ooh.
Ain't the shoes worth that? That's my boy. I don't care.
Well,
Can't
right.
wear the shoes.
You're not gonna wear the shoes.
You're not gonna wear the shoes.
It would just be a collectible, but it's just damn 500.
That's just something to look at.
Right.
Oh, that's Mike's shoes.
You know Jordan's feet was in here.
The room smelling all of a sudden.
Right. You know his feet was here. His toes was his toes was
back from 1985.
Man, still got some cocaine residue in there.
I don't know where that would get.
From his teammates. It's probably still what he's from his teammates.
Allegedly.
Right. Alleged.
In 2019, Brooks Koepka.
It's the '80s. It was wild. It was wild.
80s were wild, but he wasn't part of that scene,
No,
though.
he wasn't part of the scene. No, I'm just saying it's from his teammates in the locker room and stuff. Alleged.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that it was pretty prevalent in 85 for real in the
I'm sure,
NBA.
like in the '80s, you stumble on some crack every now and then or some cocaine somewhere.
Oh, it was in the locker rooms,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
In the
That's what I'm
80s,
saying.
yeah, they were
Yeah,
using it.
I'm not gonna say he was doing it, but I'm just saying,
Got
shoot,
you. Got you. That's
you
what
know,
when I first heard you say it, oh, whoa. 2019, Brooks Koepka fires a 65 to set a new record for the lowest 36-hole score in a golf major at the PGA Championship at Bethpage Black. He had a 7-stroke lead, and that was a 36-hole tournament record at the time. He did go on to win that championship. 2018, Michigan State University agrees to pay $500 million in claims to 300 survivors of sexual abuse involving Larry Nasser, the largest sexual abuse case in sports history. 2014,
damn.
139th Preakness, Victor Espinoza aboard California Chrome wins in 1 minute 54 seconds. 1998, New York Yankees pitcher David Wells tosses a perfect game in a 4-0 win against the Minnesota Twins at Yankee Stadium. 1992, Expos Gary Carter is the third to catch 2,000 games. He joins Bob Boone and Carlton Fisk. 1970, Hank Aaron becomes the ninth player to get 3,000 hits. And in 1969, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh agreed to go from the NFC to the AFC in the NFL. Did not know that one.
Okay.
Didn't remember that one. So that's a biggie right there. What's on tap?
What's on tap?
What's on tap with the Haps? Haps with the taps.
What's the haps?
As
with the
always say,
taps?
Game 7, two of the sweetest words in sports.
Sweet.
The Detroit Pistons will try to advance to their first Eastern Conference Finals since the 2000-2008 season when they lost to Boston 4-2. The Cleveland Cavaliers will try to advance for the first time since 2017-2018, where they beat the Celtics 4-3. The winner of the series tonight will have the unenviable task of taking on the red-hot New York Knicks.
New York Knicks. Go New York. Go
Speaking
New
of
York.
the NBA Finals, as I just mentioned, the Knicks are the hottest team in basketball and probably the most rested. They'll have a 1-week layoff once their series starts up with the winner of the Detroit Pistons Cleveland Cavaliers game. They await their opponent, while in the West, you have a matchup of two of the best and youngest and deepest teams. Defending champion OKC takes on Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. This one, I don't plan to miss one play of that series.
Man,
I think that's going to be that's your finals for real.
That's the finals. That's what we wanted to see, and I'm glad we got what we wanted to see. The only team that I think has a chance to beat OKC is the Spurs. But that is a tough task just because, man, OKC just has the depth. But that's a heavyweight fight right there. I'm going to be locked in and tuned in.
Yeah, but we'll be locked in and tuned in. The PGA Championship final round is today. Alex Smalley is the only American that is in the top 7. Well, he's tied. Well, let me back up. Alex Smalley is your leader at 6 under currently, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other players sitting at -4, lurking. Among those, you got Nick Taylor, but none of these, like I said, are Americans. John Rahm is at -4. Rory McIlroy is at -3. Xander Schauffele, Patrick Reed, Chris Gotterup, Ben Griffin, all Americans. Maverick McNeely, all at -3, and a couple of those at -2. So the tournament is pretty much wide open. It just depends on if Alex Smalley can hang on and close this thing out for his first major win. We'll see. The French Open will begin next Sunday, but Saturday night for us at Stade Roland Garros Stadium. Carlos Alcaraz, who is 28-4 on clay, is the favorite, especially having won the Australian Open earlier this year. He'll be trying to beat his nemesis, Yannick Sinner, who also is one of the favorites. On the women's side, America's Coco Gauff is the surprising favorite for me, just for the simple fact she hasn't won any main events this season. but she is favorite on the women's side.
Okay.
Behind her is Iga Swiatek, who has won three
Shiviante.
times at Roland Garros.
Sound like a nice
Also,
watch.
Arena Sabalenka will be one of the ones challenging to hoist the trophy. But the French Open does start next Sunday, so we'll
La
be
Tour
watching
Francais.
out for that. Fisticuffs, but no belts.
Ooh.
Heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk will take on Rico Verhoeven next Saturday, but there's much controversy and way too complicated to explain right here as to whether any of his belts will be on the line. So it's a good chance that if Rico can win, Uncle Rico can win the fight,
Uncle Rico.
he probably won't come away with any of the belts. Doesn't sound like any of the, I guess, the associations or organizations are sanctioning the fight, basically, is what's happening.
Okay, got
So
you.
it sounds like the belts won't be up
It
for
won't.
grabs.
Okay, so win or lose, it's just probably just gonna be just a. It just goes against your record.
A heavyweight fight,
Ain't gonna
yeah.
be yeah. It ain't gonna be no title changes. Okay.
Speaking
Yeah.
of fisticuffs,
Fisticuffs.
Rowdy Ronda
Rowdy
Rousey,
Ronda Rousey.
she headlined the event promoted by Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, which is Jake Paul's promotional company. They're making their presence felt.
They are, man.
In
That
an
Netflix.
enormous way, especially after last night's MMA card that featured Francis Ngannou. He dominated. Nate
Dominated.
Diaz, he was dominated. Mike Perry took care of him.
Mike Perry.
He
Mike
he
Perry handled
tenderized his
business.
face, didn't he?
Man, real quick. Winning, hey, no holds barred, man. It was some good fights, man. It was some good fights that
Real
they put
good
on.
fights. What did they say? It was four of the 5 fights, first round knockouts or first round wins.
Finishes, yep. So,
But Ronda Rousey took care of Gina Carano.
which I knew that.
17 seconds she made her tap out.
I mean,
But she made her tap out in 17 seconds, but then they hugged 18 times after the fight.
that's what I was saying. The lead up, everything besides the fight took longer than the actual fight. I wasn't really surprised either. That was about on par. How could you stop that? Ronda Rousey has so much experience.
We just forgot how good she was.
You just look how much experience she's had just fighting. Gina, is it Gina? Gina
Carano. Mm-hmm.
Gina Carano, she only had 8 fights.
Right.
And that was
she was just the groundbreaker.
Ago. Right.
I guess that's why they gave her so much love, because she was one of the first, to be recognized as an MMA women's fighter.
Innovator.
She's the innovator. She broke the ground and I guess laid the path for Ronda to be able to do what she did. But she hadn't fought in 17 years. And they said Ronda hadn't been in the octagon in, 10 years? Yeah, 10 years.
But I think Ronda still trains.
Oh, you can see she was in both of them were in great shape.
Gina, they say she lost over 100 pounds over the
100
past 2
pounds.
years. So she's been in the gym, but I don't think Ronda Rousey is ever out of shape. Even when she was with the WWE, even though she wasn't in the ring, she was still working out. I'm sure
actively
she's still
training.
She still trains martial arts, or just because that's who she is. That's in her nature. That armbar is vicious.
She put her right into it. She yanked her right into it. When they showed her training, how she was trying to make that happen, you just flip the person over immediately and put that armbar on them. And I guess Miss Carano said, I'm not going to waste any time and possibly get my arm broken off. I'll leave the fight hanging. She tapped out quick. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm tapping. But it was a good night, like I said, for MVP Promotions, just because of the simple fact that at the same time you had UFC going on and neither one of us knew who was on the card, nor did we really care to watch.
Right.
We were more attracted to this. And like Jake Paul was saying, they're not going anywhere, whether it's boxing or MMA. Their promotion company is here to stay.
Like we said, don't like the man at all, but I can't.
Gotta respect his business acumen.
I just can't hate, because, like you said, getting that Netflix check is different. They put on it was just done so well, just from just like the media standpoint, the promotion standpoint. They've been promoting it for a while, getting headliners like Ronda Rousey and Gina. That is a good fight that we want to see, even though we might know the outcome. Getting Francis Ngannou on there. All the fights were just, like you said, they finished in the first round. You got entertainment, even from the commentators, the outside ring reporters. It was very well run, and like you said, it took the eyes off of UFC. I was watching that, didn't even tune into the UFC. I was watching
I didn't
the
either.
the Netflix. So yeah, they definitely got something going for sure.
And the money is much better than UFC, and that's where they're gonna.
They
That's where they're
keep
gonna
that
start
cheap.
pulling some athletes away, some fighters away
Mm-hmm.
from these different organizations, just because of the fact that Netflix money, man.
Oh, that
Hey,
Netflix money is,
when you're Netflix and chilling, they're Netflix and cashing those
man,
checks
I'm telling you, they are
for
getting to
real.
that over the past years. That's just getting they are getting to it. They're putting on these live events. They're getting to a different type of money. And shout out to Netflix for just they just
Having the foresight, whoever
having a
their
yeah.
CEO is, yeah.
Starting from just movies, and now look where you're at. You got NFL games, you got boxing events, UFC events, podcast, comedian roast. Netflix is doing it. I'm not gonna lie to
And they're doing
you.
their own movie productions. That's the other
Right,
thing, kind
yeah.
of like Prime.
Yeah.
Those two organizations, Amazon Prime and Netflix, are taking over not only cinema, but just entertainment in general, all around entertainment. And now that they've both stuck their toes into the sports water, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but both of those, Amazon and Netflix, got some primetime NFL games. So they're definitely getting leading not only the networks, but the different individual sports. You're able to pay them more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where UFC is probably not going to be able to hang much longer. Netflix, they got the WWE now.
Right.
So,
That's
like
what I
you
also
said,
was thinking about. Yeah, Netflix, they got WWE with the
they got
contracts. Like,
WWE. So now they got all the top events, all their premium live events. They're going to be on Netflix. That's just hard to compete with, man. When you're trying to do something different, they've definitely taken it to a whole different level. All right, in the leadoff spot, and this
in
one
the
came
leadoff
across
spot.
while I was putting my notes together this morning. It will be announced later on that Shea Butter, that I got that from
Shea
ESPN's
Butter, baby.
Malika Andrews. Shea Butter, Shea Gilgis Alexander will win his, or has already won his second MVP
Mm.
trophy, having led his
Mm-hmm.
team to the best record after winning the championship a year ago. Congratulations to him. We've
Congrats.
said all along that he was going to get it. Now this is where you see voter fatigue come in, and it's probably going to be between Victor Wembanyama and our guy Cooper Flag
Cooper
with Dallas.
Flag.
Yeah, this could be probably the end of Shea's run, just because, like we said, you get that voter fatigue, kind of like they did with Jokic. Jokic
Yeah,
probably could have won a couple more,
they
but
just wanted a new face.
they
They just
wanted a
wanted somebody new. They
new
didn't want it to
face and
be
a new
redundant.
story.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
wanted a
like,
new storyline.
yeah, I mean,
It's kind of lazy, isn't it?
it is kind of lazy because there was times Jokic had better seasons. He didn't win the MVP than when he won the MVP.
Right.
So just kind of keep it consistent. I get that we want to see something new, but
I don't
one's
want
got
to
to
see
be.
anything new just for the sake of it's new. It needs to be,
It needs to
if
be
this was the
legit.
MVP, this was the
Yeah,
MVP.
let's not be the MVP. Oh, he was good. He had a better season last year, but let's get someone new in there. If he dominated in the regular season, and I know they don't count playoffs, but I do think playoffs
Playoffs.
still have something to do with it. But the fact that they're still in it, Western Conference Finals, he definitely had to be the MVP this year. So if he does the same thing next year,
Yeah, how could you,
how can you deny?
if
You
the
know what I'm
numbers
saying?
don't fall off? That's the
You
thing.
gotta,
His numbers
yeah.
got better too. That was the other thing that people have to look at. If your numbers get better over you being over the year that you wanted, and you do the same things in terms of leading your team, there's no reason why you shouldn't get it. Now, in Jokic's case, I could see a couple of those times he was great, but his team wasn't, and they didn't do a whole lot. And maybe they
Mm-hmm.
looked at someone who took their team a little bit further, because I don't have the examples in front of me at the moment,
Right.
what the records were, so on and so forth. But congratulations to Shea
Yeah, in there,
Butter.
yeah. Shea Butter, dog. Okay. That's very impressive, especially at his young age, to
Mm-hmm.
already have this type of success. And shoot, they got a lot
Looking
more.
to
He got
win
a lot
his
more.
second title.
I might say you got a lot more years ahead of you too, so you already starting off good.
As long as you can stay healthy, yes,
Right?
sir.
Yeah, for sure.
The NFL did have their schedule released. We talked about that last week in terms of whether it was going to be this week or next week. The official release was on this past Thursday. And to give you a little background, because I didn't know this,
Background.
how they land on the schedule, and this is according to Monday Morning Quarterbacks Albert Breer, one of the top people in the NFL profession. He said as soon as the 2025 season ended, the NFL computers go to work and they did more than 6,000 models, D, just running different
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, and more than 6,000 before they landed upon the final schedule, which they landed on Tuesday. That's a lot of work. I never thought it was that in depth, that intense. I never knew how they came up with the schedule, but because they use these different models and different scenarios and they throw different algorithms in there and then they come up with one big schedule. Kind of neat, kind of intense. I wasn't impressed with the 49ers release. How was you all's release? I meant to watch it.
They probably did have a release, but I just looked at the schedule.
What do you think of your schedule?
It was cool. I still see the same, man. Mediocre. 8 wins, 8, 9 wins. It depends on how we want to play.
So Stefanski's not going to make a big difference.
You can kind of tally it up in your head, but you can never call it because there's some teams I'm like, okay, yeah, we can beat them, and it depends on how we come out. But if I tally it up in my head, I said about 8, 9 wins. I think it's gonna be about the same. we
Gotcha.
we got a decent schedule. We got some good teams that we face, but it's just all about how we want to play.
Who's your out of conference schedule? Like, what conference are you all going up out of?
I know the first game's the Steelers. I think it's the AFC North because I saw the Steelers. I saw Cleveland.
Okay.
I saw Baltimore on there. The Bengals on there. I did see Detroit. I also saw
we got you at your
Vikings.
Place.
Yep, I saw the 49ers on there. So we got a pretty tough schedule, to tell you the truth. That Cleveland versus Atlanta game is going to be pretty interesting to see. Kevin Stefanski returning. I don't know if that's in Cleveland.
What's the over-under on Atlanta Falcons wins this season?
We got the Bears. We got a pretty tough schedule.
Falcons over-under win total for this season.
7.5. So about 8, like you just said.
That's what I said it's about the same. I said about
49ers are 10.5, which means 11 wins, and that's about right. Their primary is the NFC East. I did know that. I just didn't know when, which was some of these at home or how many on the road. I just wasn't impressed with the release. It just talked about the faithful, and they had it's the home of the faithful, and they kind of go through this AI thing of this nice house with a lot of San Francisco memorabilia and stuff, and they land on these different objects that have the actual opponent and what week they were doing. I saw that Jacksonville did a neat one, making it look like they cut Trevor Lawrence's hair. I don't know if you saw that.
no, like I didn't see that.
He got a haircut, and I think each piece represented what week and who they were playing. But yeah, there were some pretty neat ones out there.
Yeah,
they said that they say the Chargers normally do the best one, and I have to actually watch it. But they played New England, so they trolled Vrabel and Diana Rossini in there.
Damn, ooh, an easy bait. Good, yeah. Easy bait.
Yep, so they trolled them a little bit. So I'm gonna have to watch that one. Go through, and I think that's what I'm gonna make one of my projects this week of many. But I want to watch as many releases as possible and come back on here and kind of critique them,
kind of rank them on them. Yeah, rank them.
Put a little grade on them.
That's a lot of release. Does every team do? Every team does release?
Yeah, every team did a video release for their fans. Part 2 of this. The NFL's taking advantage of all available days, now opening on a Wednesday. The season will open on a Wednesday, and then on that you got your first international game. You got the Rams and the 49ers. But then
they got a game on Friday.
Yeah, then they got a game on Friday. I want to say they might have one even on Saturday. But they're taking advantage of all the openings that they can get, and then even the holidays and pre-holidays. You got a game on Thanksgiving Eve, which is on Wednesday. You got the Green Bay Packers at the Rams, exclusively on Netflix. Then on Thanksgiving Day, you got the Bears at the Lions, Eagles at Dallas, and the Chiefs at the Bills. That's gonna be a good slate of games for Thanksgiving.
Hey, they set it up, baby. Gonna get the turkey and get to watch some football or whatever you eating. It's gonna be some good meals.
And then the Christmas slate, they're going all out. So you got Christmas Eve, which is on a Thursday. They'll have a single game. You got the Texans at the Eagles. That's streaming on Amazon. Then on Christmas Day, you got the Packers at the Bears. On Netflix, you got the Bills at the Broncos on Netflix, and then you got the Rams at the Seahawks, the late game on Fox. So,
Woo!
but you see, Netflix and
Damn.
Amazon are getting in there.
No, they get in there. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
Hey, big girl. What's that? They in there. They in the wobble baby, wobble baby. They in the mix. They in the mix. They doing the thing because they realize that's where the cheese is at. That is loyal eyes. Football fans are gonna, no matter what platform it's on, we gonna watch it. So
You're gonna find it,
that's
even
guaranteed
if you
eyes.
get it for that month. That's just more money that they're putting in their pockets. And what they're
Mm-hmm.
hoping is that because they'll have more games, that, like you said, the NFL fan is going to keep it. Then what they also hope is that you just forget that you have that subscription.
Oh yeah, you forgot to
and
cancel the
you
subscription.
forgot to cancel it, and there you go. I wonder how much money these companies, just in general, off these subscriptions make because people forget.
Oh man, buku. Shoot,
They probably make millions just off of forgetfulness.
off of forgetfulness,
Off
just
of
because. Oh yeah, I'll
forgetfulness.
cancel it later. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have somebody who you might have a couple shows on there. Oh well, I might keep it. And
Right.
wow, this is a cool little show. Let me keep that. You got kids. They're like, oh, they want to watch Netflix. They got some shows on there. It's well rounded. It's a good platform. You got everything on there that you need.
It takes me back to what you said earlier, just started with movies. I remember, Dean, this is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they would mail you a movie. You'd get it in the mail, you'd watch it, and you'd mail it back. They'd give you the
Right.
prepaid
Mm-hmm.
envelope. You put it in there and mail the movie back. You'd have a list of movies that you wanted to choose from. And so once you sent that movie back, they receive it, they send you their next movie. They've been building on this platform for some years, and now that they've added sports to the mix,
It's
they're in a
crazy.
whole different stratosphere.
Yeah, like you said, just that, whoever is behind there and who's building that business up from, and they keep evolving. It's just crazy to where they're at. Shoot, they making money and they bringing out money,
They're making money and they're paying big money.
playing big money. Getting a Netflix special is the top thing. Is the I don't know if you watched Kevin Hart's Funny AF. He had a
I've just seen the previews. It makes me kind of want to watch. I'm just not a big fan of him, so that's why. But I saw
yeah. I
Chris
mean,
Rock was on there.
even if you're
One
not a fan of
episode.
him, if you like comedian competitions,
Mhm.
this is a good one because it highlights comedians who are popular in their area but just don't have that exposure. And
Right.
the winner of the show gets their own Netflix special. So
Nice.
so it's a big deal, especially you go from just doing local comedy,
Local.
shops
Yeah.
to getting your Netflix special. Dog, you just gonna be that's gonna take your career to a whole nother light. And then with Netflix, who knows what that leads to? You might be an extra cast in a movie, and
Oh, it's
seeing the
definitely going to
next
lead to
little top
bigger and
movie,
better things.
bigger and
Yeah.
better things for you. So, dog, it's yeah, they doing
Yeah, I
it. They
see
doing it
some of the
all.
judges. I've seen Nikki Glazer. I see Chris Rock. I've
Yeah, they
seen
got
some
Jesse
other
Handler.
comedians.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's actually really good. It was actually pretty good. We watched it. It's pretty tight.
Okay. Okay. Might have to
Pretty
check it
decent.
out.
Mm-hmm.
In line with the scheduling, things that make you say, So,
Hmm.
with all that has happened in New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel's life recently away from the field, how important is it for him and his team to get off to a fast start, keeping him off an even hotter seat? Week 1, they got the Seattle Seahawks. Week
Rematch.
2, they got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm.
Week 3, they got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 4, they got the Buffalo Bills. And week 5 is when they get their first break. They got the Las Vegas Raiders. And you know how normally when a team makes it to the Super Bowl, there's some regression that following year.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't see it being Seattle. I think it's gonna be the Patriots. And then how much are they gonna put on the fact that he's gone through all this turmoil off the field? If they I can easily see 2-2 after those first games. Maybe I can almost see 1-3. They're not gonna beat the Seahawks. I
That's
don't
gonna
see
be
them beating the
yeah,
Seahawks.
it's tough. But Seahawks, they didn't got their offensive
And they may
coordinator there.
regress too. Yeah, they may
Right,
regress.
they don't have K9, they don't have Kenneth Walker, your Super Bowl MVP. He's somewhere else. So like, how's
Yeah.
your run game going to be? how the
He's from
play's gonna
Kansas
look.
City.
That's what I'm saying. How's your play's gonna look because you ain't got what's buddy who left for the Raiders, Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, you're
They ain't
right.
got Clint Kubiak, so a lot of times the offense might be a little. You might see what happened with Philly. You go to the Super
That
Bowl,
regression.
and then
Hmm.
your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator leaves, and then next thing you know, your plays ain't looking as high as they used to be. They look very
Right.
generic, like how Detroit was when Ben Johnson left. Like when Ben Johnson was there, plays was looking sharp on point. Then he
Yeah, with
leaves,
Dan
then
Campbell calling the plays, it looked raggedy.
it was just too. It was just. It
Too
was. You could see it
predictable,
coming.
too
Yeah, there you go.
vanilla.
It's too predictable. It was no flair. So we'll see. But I do think Patriots will go through a regression because one, they were a sleeper last year. Nobody was really paying attention to them. Of course, we were like, okay, Patriots won, but a lot of the games were close. A
Hmm.
lot of the times they were just sneaking by, and then ultimately they had a few lucky breaks in the playoffs. They had a lot
Bo
of
Nix
lucky
getting
breaks.
hurt
Bo
prior to
Nix
their
getting
game.
hurt. CJ Stroud just being terrible. Despite that, the defense kept them in that game. They got a lot of lucky breaks. And then with this distraction going on, who knows? It might be tough for them. But like you said, those first 4 or 5 weeks are gonna be pretty tough.
And how much are they gonna be sitting back looking at him like, are
But
you the
I mean,
cause of this?
obviously he was doing it last year and they had success.
You're right. You're right.
I don't think
Yeah, he had the situation going, but he
right,
didn't have all the eyes on him and all the scrutiny now that he has.
right.
And the pressure. The home life's got to be rough right about now. I saw her on Mother's Day, her kiss her husband. They made a big deal out of that. She had the little babe, one of the
Who,
babies in
Diane
her arm.
Orsini?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
mean,
Shake Shack says I'm staying with her. Looks like
and that's also what we've been saying.
we don't know the behind the scenes. Yeah,
Behind the
who knew
scenes,
what
they might already be on. They might already be good.
might be swinging.
They might have been good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They might have been good for these past couple of years. We just weren't put on to the situation. I think that's
Right.
why they also were like, "Oh, it's no big deal." My wife know about it. Yo, we was over there. My wife was with her husband.
He was
Like,
shaking her shack.
right. We don't know the dynamic. They might all be good. So we
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
true.
So we gonna see. But I do think there's gonna be some regression for sure.
All right, we'll move
Anyway.
on. This was called Glad You Decided to Finally Join Us, Aaron. Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, man.
42 years old, has finally agreed to terms with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a one-year deal per Adam Schefter, making his return official. According to Schefter, Rodgers' new contract comes with a base salary between 22 to 23 million and is worth up to 25 million. This is a significant raise from last year when Rodgers signed a one-year $13.65 million deal with $10 million in guarantees and up to $19.5 million in incentives. So that might have been what the holdout was all about, just trying to make sure that the money was right.
The money,
This
right.
is probably going to be my last season.
With the money,
I need to make north of 20 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, I guess, from a Steelers standpoint, I'm sure they're like, hey, man, yeah, glad you finally decided to join us. Because I think a quarterback, I don't care how many years in the league, when you got the rookie class coming in, you need to be working with them and getting them set up for success in terms of mini camps, OTAs, stuff like that. And from his standpoint, to make sure that he's on point and gotten them progressing the right way, he should have been in. I think he should have been in camp despite his age.
Yeah, to that point, it is important, but I don't think that's not what Aaron Rodgers is on right now. I don't think he's. I don't know. He's really kind of just looking out for himself his last couple of years. He doesn't have a lot left going on. I think he can probably care less of who the succession is. But you would want someone to kind of help out, and I hope he is helping out Will Howard or whoever they got in the QB
I think
room.
I blame the team for that.
But that's what he's kind of on.
Like you were saying, for the last couple of years, Aaron's been playing by his own rules. But I blame the Steelers for that because it's like you're delaying your team's growth by accepting these conditions.
Yeah, conditions.
You're not being
proactive.
You're not being proactive, and I don't think you're being smart with your team, and I don't think you're being respectful of your fans. is what I'm trying to say. After last year, after how long it took, I would have told him, look, man, we need a decision before the draft. And maybe they already had the decision, but why are you delaying your team's growth? Because you might have your quarterback right there already, assuming that they're not trying to hold out to next year when you have the class of Arch Manning and the other players, the quarterback class that they say is probably going to be one of the best in a while. You might have your quarterback already.
Right.
You got
But you don't
Will
know.
Howard, you got a Drew Aller, you got Mason Rudolph. Who's to say one of those won't emerge as a star player or at least a decent player in the league? But you haven't had a quarterback that can lead you to some wins since Ben Roethlisberger. What's that coming up on 10 seasons
Man,
now?
I'm about to
Like
say it's
that?
been a minute. It's been a while since you had like just a quarterback that you know that you can build your future with. That's just not going to be here. You thought it was going to be Kenny Pickett, and then
Right.
that didn't pan out. And so now,
Disaster.
and then shoot, now you're trying to figure out, just okay, maybe we'll get Aaron Rodgers in here, but it's a 1 year lease.
It's a band-aid.
Right? Yeah, it's a 1 year. He's going to be, and then we'll see if he's going to come back next year. And that was because what if he had retired? Then now pretty much effed yourself. So how many more years do you actually think he's going to play? After this year, maybe he comes back
I
for
don't think
another
he's
year,
playing.
but
This is probably it.
right,
Just
but
depending
maybe
on
he
what
comes
happens too.
right because he was contemplating this year coming back. So maybe he comes back for another year, but still, do you have once he's done? Do you have a quarterback that you can put in there that you're confident enough to keep uphold the wins? Because Steelers fans, they have an expectation of getting to the playoffs. That's why they started giving Mike Tomlin a hard time because he was making the playoffs or he was getting winning seasons, but then they would exit out. They wouldn't make that Super Bowl run. So what's really going on as far
Hmm.
like you said, you're not doing your due diligence to build your team up for the future. You're just kind of just taking it season by season. But we'll
And
see.
if I were a fan, I wouldn't want to invest my money in the team. I'm like, because you got us hoping and praying that he's coming back versus being, like you say, proactive and moving down the road and just like, you know what, man, we appreciate the 1 year that you came in here and you played for us, but we got to think about our future. We got to see what we have so that we can be in contention, that we can be competitive going forward, not just for 1 year, but years to come. Setting yourself up for success.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're not doing. So that's why I would be pissed off as a Steelers fan. But he is coming back for one more season. So we'll see how all that pans out. Moving on to a little NBA talk. LeBron, Giannis, or Embiid, will either of them or all of them play for their teams next season? And why would they? So do you see
Mm.
LeBron coming back to the Lakers? Kind of similar situation as we were just talking about with the Steelers. Okay, even if he comes back and you got Luka, you're still the third or fourth best team in the West. You're not gonna be winning it. Yet you probably won't even beat Minnesota. So if you run it back, what are you really doing? Because you're not building to beat OKC, you're not building to beat San Antonio.
I think as far as like with them having, because I don't even really think you're gonna get a lot for LeBron. I mean,
But he's an unrestricted free agent, so
oh
he can go
yeah,
wherever he wants
so
to
he can go
go.
wherever he goes. They got Luca and they got Reeves. They can they're not really competing where you want because the way you're gonna get it is gonna be through the draft. Getting it through the draft and then getting some good draft picks. You look at the Spurs; those were draft picks. You look at OKC; those
And
were draft
trades,
picks.
yeah.
And then you get a few trades of some not already established players from people that were pretty much undiscovered, like Shea Gildress. You didn't know Shea Gildress was going to be a two-time MVP, potentially two-time champion. That was just a player that you thought had potential. So it's really going to have to be to your talent evaluator to get those. But I don't really see any of the teams doing anything drastic in the near future, even with Philly. Embiid could probably stay, but they'll probably be in the same spot. You just got the thing with him; he's going to be injury prone. Is he going to play a full season? And then with Giannis, the same thing. You're going to have to deplete your whole team just to get Giannis. So you're gonna be in the same spot. You'll have a superstar, but you're not going to have anyone to support him when he's gone. That's the thing. If your superstar goes down, do you still have a team that's still going to hold you down? Like OKC J-Dub didn't play damn near the whole season, and they still winning games. Sometimes they even look better without him. You forget that they
Hmm.
even need him. And then when he does get healthy, it's, oh damn, now they still got J-Dub. Boston was holding it down without Tatum. Ultimately, it didn't go in their favor, but they were still able to sustain that number 2 spot that whole way
Yep.
without their star player. So you're gonna need to build a team like that. It's gonna have to be a talent evaluation. But if I'm LeBron, I would probably go ahead and I'd probably be here. I don't know. I don't know what you do because realistically, he probably has what, maybe 2, 3 more years. I can
Hmm.
see at a high level or at this level. So I don't think he's gonna be either. He'll be in the Lakers, but possibly maybe Cleveland. I don't know where else he would want to go.
Right.
You either want to stay in LA because Bronny's there, your family's there, it's close. You got Bryce in Arizona. That's not too far. But if you go back to Cleveland, that's the home turf. So
But
yeah, that's
the
gonna be
family
tough.
doesn't want to uproot from LA.
Right. So you might as well for him. You're either gonna just retire a Laker pretty much and just end your career that way.
But just knowing in the back of your mind, we're really not playing for anything. But then that's when you're wasting Luca's his youth.
I'm not gonna say they're not. I don't know. That's tough because even if you
Yeah, we
say
know we can't predict the future. I know
say
what you're
he
saying.
goes, you're still not playing for anything.
Right.
So it's either that has to be on the organization to build some pieces up for the future. Because even if LeBron stays, I'm not gonna say you're gonna compete, but OKC and them are just
They're just
that's just
much
a
better than
rarity.
you.
That's just
Yeah.
a rarity. There's only so many times, and they're not a dynasty yet, but it's tough when you get a team like that. Everything went their way, and it's going
Right.
their way as far as them building their team.
But
So
even if
yeah,
they don't win it all, and I'm talking about OKC, they still have the nucleus to continue to be the dominant team in the
right.
West.
They'll probably be back there, and then if they don't make it, they'll come back next year with even more of a vengeance.
Mm.
So it's going to be tough to compete for any of those teams in the West. If you're not building your team like the Spurs or OKC, you're going to have a hard time. But even Boston's done a good job with their teams. But if you're not really following that
Still
recipe and
add
that
some pieces.
dynamic, yeah,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
see any team that's going to be able to compete for real, for real.
Giannis can't come back. I can just say that just because of all the behind the scenes stuff going on. He has to figure out. They have to figure out either
Yeah.
sign and trade. Well, not a sign and trade because he's not a free agent, but they got to find a landing spot that suits both him and Milwaukee. He's not happy there. They're not happy having him there. Just go ahead and make that move. Embiid, you won't be able to get rid of him just because he, like you said, can he play a full season? And that's the other thing with Giannis with this lingering calf injury. Is that going to eventually turn into an Achilles injury? So you got to be mindful of that. If you were to trade for him, like you said, you're going to probably deplete most of your assets to get him, to only see him go down with an Achilles injury. That would be,
tragic.
That'd be horrible for your franchise.
That'd be tragic. You put all your eggs in one basket, and your basket got a hole in it.
Man,
You ain't got
let me ask you this, D. This is one I thought about the other day. So if you're the Lakers, let LeBron walk, let Austin Reeves walk, because I wouldn't want to pay him the $241 million that he's eligible for. Go do a sign and trade with Reeves to Memphis and get Ja Morant. Give him a change of scenery. Give Luka someone who can create their own shot. Since he's so ball dominant, get somebody who's still got some fresh legs, young enough. I think that'd be a good move. Put Ja in LA. I don't know if it'd be good for his lifestyle,
Yeah,
in terms of him staying out of trouble. But just somebody like that, though, that's still young enough, but they can create their own shot. Someone that Luka can get the ball to when he needs to, and they can score a basket.
yeah. I don't know. It would be entertaining. I don't know if that's what they. I don't know if that's what they need. I think Lakers need. They need
They
some
need
more.
a few things, don't they?
They need a few things as far as depth would go. Yeah, it would be entertaining to see. That's for one thing. I wouldn't want to
Right.
pay Reeves all that money, so maybe some
That's the thing.
negotiation. I would maybe some negotiation be like, "Hey, man, we want you to be around, but it's gonna have to be one of those discussions like." If we're gonna pay you this type of money, we need you. We need you to go off for 30. We need you to be a 1-2. We need you to be the caliber of scoring with a Luca and just add to your bag. So I think that had to be a negotiation. You could probably let him, but I don't know about Ja. I don't know if I'm still. I don't know if I'm still having that type of faith in Ja.
Right.
Because can he one stay healthy? Can his distractions? How do I know if you can't handle yourself in Memphis? How do I know? I can't. You about to be wilding out here in
You
L.A.
about to ready to get buck wild in LA.
You finna go wild in L.A. There's so many much more things, but it would be entertaining to watch. I don't know if their styles will mesh well though, because Luca is so ball dominant. Pause. Ja Morant, yes, yeah, he can create his own shot, but he's also ball dominant as
He
well.
likes to he likes to handle the
To
ball.
get him, yeah, to
Pause.
get him going and to get him to where he's scoring like that, he needs a lot of possessions to go. It would be
Mm-hmm.
it was good with him, with Luca, it was good with him and Kyrie. Kyrie can get his own shot, but also Kyrie can impact the game, just not scoring. He can get all the people involved.
You got to remember, Luca had a Brunson, and that was his someone who could create their own shot.
But yeah, they didn't
And, you
believe
know,
in Brunson, and that was early.
right.
That was early Brunson.
It was
Brunson was
early
in it.
Brunson.
That was early Brunson. I think Brunson did a lot of. He was doing a lot of work adding to his repertoire.
So you're saying he's done a lot of behind the scenes.
I think he did a lot of behind the scenes. I get, but
improving his game over the last 2-3 seasons.
Yeah,
he's definitely improved. I'm not a big fan of his, but I got to give the man credit. He can take over a ball game.
He can,
and for his size compared to everybody else on the court, he can dominate. And he goes on these runs that, yeah, he can carry a team. And there's not many players in the league that can actually do it. There's a lot that want to do it, but he's actually proven that he can. We'll definitely see in this next series that if he's the player that we think that he's emerged to be. I think this series will say a whole lot about him and, where his game is.
Right.
All right. You said what?
You said what?
I hope you didn't say that.
Man, I know you didn't say that.
You shouldn't have said that. In an Esquire magazine interview, now LSU head coach Lane Kiffin stated that he had limitations in recruiting because some African American athletes were reluctant to want to move to Oxford, Mississippi, known for still embracing the racist past and the present. My problem with him bringing this up right now is you spent 6 years at the school. You chose to go there to be the coach, which means you didn't have any problem with their Ole Miss term or the Rebel name. You didn't have any problem when you were there and they paid you boatloads of money. Why are you saying it now once you're gone? I have a problem with that. I think he's being hypocritical.
Yeah, I guess you're saying
he got all he could out of it.
You're bashing the school, but you still chose to take that job.
Yeah. Knowing its history, knowing
its history, and knowing that potentially there could be a problem.
Right. So how can you come out against it now? That's all I'm saying. You chose to go there too. So
right.
You weren't that upset about how they got down or how they represented themselves. You didn't have a problem with it for 6 seasons. And maybe if LSU hadn't brought the truckload of money to you, you'd still be there.
Right. Yeah, you still be, but it is hypocritical for him to say it. It's almost like working for an establishment. You get a new job and then you bash them, talking about, well, man, they were very racist and they all this and stuff and that. But it's just, well, why'd you work there for so long? If you knew of these,
and you knew this going in,
and you knew this going in, but now you want to say something now.
Exactly.
When you're away from the establishment, you could have done your part by not going there. And you probably still would have been there, like you said, had you not got a new opportunity from somewhere else. You would still be repping there. You repping the school colors, so you're pretty much a part of it. You were not initially part of the problem, but you're still kind of part of the problem.
Right.
Like guilty by association.
And what barriers did you break down while you were there? What did you do to change things?
Yeah, what things did you implement to But he was getting some recruits there, so maybe he was doing something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of hypocritical for him to say that. But Lane Kiffin, he gonna talk shit. Like that's who Lane. Are we surprised?
Right.
That's Lane
No.
Kiffin. He's not gonna hold his tongue, and especially somewhere where he used to be a part of. He like we said, he ain't got no loyalty. He's loyal to those M's. So whoever got the check, hey, that's who I'm repping. That's I got the check. That's all I'm looking at. I don't see color. Only color I see is green.
Only color is green. Yeah, I just thought that was very hypocritical of him. You're talking out of both sides of your neck because when you were there, everything was good. As
Right.
soon as you leave, now you want to expose them and you want to talk about them.
Right. We didn't hear these issues at the time. Which,
Exactly.
All
right,
how that
son.
go.
Pops' pop culture question of the week.
Pops' pop culture question of the week.
So this is more of a follow-up than the actual question. We talked about a few weeks ago the release of Drake's new album, Iceman. Well, not only did he release one project, he released 3 albums this past Friday. So you got Iceman, Maid of Honor, and I lost my note. Habibti. Yeah, Habibti, which I can't tell you what that's all about. But in all, he released 43 new tracks. So we've never seen an artist release 3 different albums on the same day.
I didn't know he came out with another album.
Yeah, he had
albums.
three in one day. Habibti, Maid of Honor, and Iceman. 43 tracks.
Habibti. I ain't even heard of Habibti. I was just listening to Iceman. What's Habibti?
You got 2 more to listen to.
Okay. Damn.
I've never heard of
what's
such.
The other one?
Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to peep those. I know he dropped that Iceman. Damn.
He dropped all 3. All 3 on the same day.
Surprise triple album release.
Yep. He's the only artist, D, that I get. I went back, I've looked. I've known several artists. Prince has done it. I know Michael's done it. Different rock groups have dropped a double album. I remember Stevie Wonder had a double album. No one's ever had a triple album release on the same day. You might release 3 albums in 1 year or the same calendar year, but 3 at one time. I'm looking forward to listening to him. They say he's dissing everybody from LeBron to, of course, Kendrick Lamar.
LeBron, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Jay-Z, Travis Scott, DJ Khaled.
What's that all about? At some point, aren't you going to have to work with some of these people again?
Pretty much that's what the album's about. He has a song called Burn Bridges, and each one of the songs that he had, he's kind of just going at somebody. I think those bridges are already burned. Right. And as far as who he's going to work is, because when the beef happened, I think that's what pretty much a lot of the Iceman album is about, is when people chose a side and people were all going at Drake. Like when Kendrick went at Drake, I think a lot of people was kind of not teaming up on him, but
so they jumped on Kendrick's bandwagon.
They on Kendrick's bandwagon, and a lot of his songs, he's like, I'm keeping receipts. Everything that happened, I'm storing it up. Like,
so I hope Future don't burn him, because he loves him some Future.
Yeah, him and Future got a song together on the album, which is, I didn't know if they had I didn't know if they
Ran to Atlanta. I listened to it last night.
It's not, the album's not too bad. There's a couple slappers. I would say what I've heard people say is kind of mid, but it's a solid album. I think there's a couple. I have to go back and maybe count up the tracks that I like, but I think at least half the album I was kind of rocking with.
I like the one that they're playing now on Sirius, Too Hard for Radio.
Yeah, Too Hard for Radio. That's
decent.
Good.
Yeah, that's decent.
Twist is good. National Treasures was good. Make them Pay was good.
It Ran to Atlanta. I ain't really like that one.
I didn't really mess with that one.
I wasn't feeling that one. Yeah.
No, there's a few that I'm just like, okay, I'm not really caring for this, but there's a few that I'm like, okay, I'll put this in the rotation.
Right.
But yeah.
I haven't listened to all of Chris Brown's yet. Have you? They say it's 27 songs on that one.
Oh, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Who got time to just sit around and listen to all this music?
I listen mostly when I'm in the car, but that's going from point A to point B, and that's in between phone calls. So if you mix in phone calls and music, by the time you get home, you really didn't listen to much.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe one or two songs in.
That's a lot of music, and I don't know if Like for Drake to drop 3 albums, like shit, I barely got through the one album. You got 2
Did you
other
need
albums.
to? Right.
Did you
That,
need to?
that might be Pops' pop culture question of the week. Did you need to drop 3 albums in one
All
day?
on the same day? Well, shoot, let people just do them like right back to back or something like that. You got 3
Right.
albums.
Do one every 3 months. Let
That's
this
what I'm
one
saying.
bump
Let
for
this
a
one
while.
breathe. Yeah, let this one breathe
Yeah.
for a second to kind of see if how it's doing and be like, boom, right, I got another one. And you're like, damn, he got
Right.
another album. And then boom, 3 months later, damn, he didn't drop 3 albums this year. Like, I think, but now
I
don't
think
know.
that'd have been more impactful.
Right.
I think I'd
because-
be more impressed, maybe, is what I'm trying to say.
because
Because to your point, you're not even giving us a chance to listen to the music because there's so much of it.
right.
Now, if he don't dominate the summer, who does? You got 3 albums?
You got 3
You should have some
albums
summer anthem hits
all summer long.
all summer long.
That's
All
the
we
thing.
should be hearing.
But that's the thing. Like the album was cool. Well, I'm talking about Iceman. What I listened to, the album was cool, but I didn't hear like a signature Drake summer song.
Right.
And maybe the other two might have that on there, but I haven't heard anything yet as far as
And what's Habibti even mean? Habibti? What is that?
I don't know. That's it must
I
be.
mean, I don't know if it's a city somewhere. It's a girl's name he likes.
It
What's
must have something to
Habibti?
do- What does Habibti mean? It must have to do something because I'm like, is he Canadian? It must have some type. It's Arabic, I think. Translates to my love, my dear, my darling.
Okay,
Habib is beloved or dear. Habibti is Arabic.
got you. There you go. You just answered the question. But
I knew it sounded made like a language, but I didn't know.
haberdashery. Oh, that's
Right.
close. All right, son. What's our juicy news for today?
Well, my juicy news is actually going to be going over the Drake album, but we kind of already went over it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I was just talking about the album and all the beefs that he was calling out. So we already went through it.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yep.
I know that the one DJ that I heard, and he'd only listened to parts of it. He said he had heard at least 35 disses, and he was only halfway through the music.
But to
So,
say, he's going at everybody. He's
you're not gonna have anybody to work with.
I think that's the point. Shoot,
It's
I
gonna
think
be
that's the
him and
point.
Lil Future.
Pretty much him and Lil Future, him and whoever was in his corner at the time. But
Or who's still there, huh?
yeah, who's still there? But shoot, I think that was the whole point of the Iceman. I'm icing you out.
Yeah.
Code to the game, because shoot, there wasn't people supporting him when he was at his lowest. I think when people finally, when
They said he went into a deep, dark depression over how he was getting trolled and rolled by Kendrick. Because Kendrick was on him pretty hard.
He was on it. I don't think he's facing a loss like that to where the whole, because that. Now that was a year. That was an anthem of the year, not just the
Anthem
summer.
of the year.
That was the anthem of the year, and then he did the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He had the
And
he had-
won Grammys off of that, and was
That
still
was-
winning Grammys off of that.
That was a historic year for Kendrick Lamar, and it was on Drake's behalf. So it was just like
At Drake's expense, huh?
at Drake's expense, that A minor to where he was suing him.
Hey, I was
Nigga.
waiting to hear that yesterday when we heard it at the game. But we'll
it's
move
right
on to
here,
our
minor.
pops, flops, and props.
Pops, flops, and
Who you
props.
popping, son?
Man, Pops is gonna go to, man. We got the Western Conference Finals. It's gonna be a good series, and then the winner of the Cavs and Pistons series is gonna face the Knicks. I think the Eastern Conference Finals is gonna be good. So I'm ready. These are the games where you lock in and you watch every game, because these
You
are gonna
watch
be some
every
classic,
game.
classic
Yeah.
games. So that's my Pops.
I like that, son. Mine is going to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, winning his second consecutive MVP award. Who you flopping? Who you flopping?
Man, Flops is gonna go to the St. Louis Battlehawks. We went to go see the St. Louis Battlehawks yesterday live in the Dome, and just the clock management at the end of the game was disappointing. A lot of mistakes, just flags that were happening. The structure of just having your team ready, they were shooting themselves in the foot, and they could have won that game. I would like to see them win that game, but it was still a good time. But that was my flops, because at the end, they just run out of time at the end. Got no timeouts left. Damn. And they was within the 5-yard line. They were right there. That was
They
my
had
flop.
3 drives that I remember got stalled within the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
3 that stopped, and I think only one of them you got 3 points out of. Maybe they got 6 points. I think they got 2 field goals now that I think about it. But that was my flop as well. And it's to the coach, Ricky Prohl, head coach, for his clock mismanagement. And he wasn't managing, he was
Yeah, it was
mismanaging that clock.
mismanagement.
Man, and what was shaping up as a sweet comeback ended with them. They didn't even get a playoff on the last play. They let the time expire without even getting the play off. That's my flop, D. Who you propping?
Props is going to go to Francis Ngannou and Ronda Rousey for their big wins yesterday in that Netflix promotions, the MMA fight. They put on two. You kind of forgot, like, oh damn, like Francis Ngannou was the champ. He was the heavyweight champ at one point, and I guess contract disputes or whatever went on with him and Dana. Like you said, UFC might have a little problem because you're gonna get one. They got the money over there with Netflix, and you got former UFC fighters going to MVP promotions, and it's on Netflix, so you got the money behind it. You get knockouts like that's put your name back on the map. So honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing the next four, Francis Ngannou and Ronda Rousey, and some of the other people who are on that card, because I'm like, that was a decent card right there. That was entertaining. It was well run. So yeah, that was my props.
Rhonda says she's headed back to her ranch to have more babies, and those are her words, and be with her husband on the ranch, raise her kids, have more babies, and I need to get to cooking. And she said that.
Well, I mean, props to her husband.
But props to her husband. Yeah.
She's
it was one point I wanted
to run the household.
Right. Oh, yeah, she'll flip him over and put him in an arm bar.
Then I say you do the dishes.
Tap. Take the trash out.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to mention, you're talking about the contract disputes. John Jones is trying to get out of his contract with UFC so he could possibly fight Ngannou, who called him out. Told him, hey, man up. He said, man up, get out of the contract and come fight me. Come see me.
We'll see. I think John Jones might be retired, though.
He's retired, D. He pretty much said he wanted to retire, but I think if the money's right, I think he'll get out of that contract for one. He'll train for two. That'd be a mega fight.
That'd be a mega fight.
That'd be a mega fight.
That would be.
You could put that fight on by itself. You don't even need co-main events. Just have that fight and see what kind of draw it does.
That's the man, because that would be one hell of a fight.
Yeah. My prop, son, is to hanging out with you and the family yesterday at the Battlehawks game. That was the highlight of the week. We had an enjoyable time, and being at a sporting event with the family. We love sports, and to be able to share that time, that was my prop. So, all right, we're at that point where we get to tell someone to sit your ass down. Man. Sit your ass down. Please. And thank you. Who you telling, son?
My sit your ass down is going to go to, live streamer. His name is Chud the Builder. He's from the Tennessee area. He goes around doing rage baiting racist content. He's a white gentleman, about 28 years old. His whole thing is he'll go around in the black community and just rage bait them. Say just racist things to him. He gets in confrontations with him, saying that he's doing his First Amendment and he carries a gun with him, saying he has a right to bear arms. Just very Trumpy, very pro-American, these are my rights type deal. Very racist, right? So he has an altercation with this black gentleman outside the Montgomery County Courthouse on Wednesday afternoon. Long story short, Chud reached for his firearm and shoots the individual multiple times. And then he gets arrested. So now Chud, the influencer, is facing 15 to 60 years for attempted murder. And his bond is set at $1.25 million. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. This is what you get. Y'all want to be so famous for doing just stupid stuff. It's exactly what you get. I hope they make you do at least 15 years. I hope they make you at least get 15 years, because his content is just stupid content. Just the fact that you are still on the rage baiting and going around trying to get rises out of black people is just crazy to me. That's your content that you're putting out. and that's what you're getting famous for. Well, you've reached it. This is literally karma
Right.
paying you back and then some. So, Chud the Builder, man, sit your ass down. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Just sit your ass down. Sit your
All
ass
right,
down, man.
son. Mine's going to Nate Diaz, man. You got some balls, dude. You got
Oh,
your ass handed to you by Mike Perry. Then after the fight, you start talking shit like you won the fight. I had to think
that's how
about it.
they.
Wait a minute.
That's
You just
CTE.
got beat down. Your face looked like a bleeding piece of steak meat. They had got that, as you said, that tendonism put
That
on
was that tendonism on the face.
that tendonism, face still bleeding, and you talking shit like, look, yeah, man, run it back. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, yeah, you were there too a few minutes ago, and you got beat down. Nate, you're not that tough, man. Your last few fights, I've seen you get nothing but beat
Pummeled.
down.
Beat
And so it's
down.
time for you to sit your ass down,
He
Nate.
should.
Please. And
And
thank you.
thank you. Please.
Man, for real.
Nate the Great, man. Ain't the same.
Ever
It's
since
too
that
many.
BMF fight where he got beat down, he has not been the same. Remember, Jake Paul beat him down
Jake Paul beat him down in boxing.
in boxing, and then Mike Perry,
Just whipped you in
that dude beat
MMA
him from the jump street. He was
from the
beating him.
rooter to the tutor.
Sit your ass down, Nate.
Sit your ass down.
All right, son. A lot of content this week. Good stuff. Great stuff as usual. Enjoyed chopping it up. And of course, we can't thank you all enough for listening and watching the Me and D
Pops and Son.
podcast. For that ass.
For that ass. Hey.
For that ass. All right, son. Tell him.
Hey, but until next time,
Mm-hmm.
we gonna holla at you.
We ain't gonna holler at you.
Peace.
Don't forget outside the NBA. Don't forget after midnight. We just
After
released
midnight.
a new one. MIZ Work to Do. Talk about
Raw.
Missouri. Yeah, we got plenty of content out there for you. Watch, listen to the one from last week. We're out.
Peace.
Peace. Standing on business coming soon.
Standing on business coming soon.